Well, I thought I'd bring you in here real quick. I've been working on the floor pan for this area here, and you can see it fits fairly close. It don't really look too bad. I hammered all this out, so it doesn't look perfect, but it'll work great for what this is. This piece in here doesn't fit right. It was already pre-cut that way, so unfortunately. These pans that I got as a replacement, same with the driver's side, they were just flat sheets. They're not really good aftermarket pieces. They're just flat sheets, no profiles or anything in them, so you have to do all that if you want it to match a factory kind of look. And I wanted this part to match at least, because you might be able to see that from the, you know, underneath the hood. So that's why I went ahead and hammered these in. This corner, what I'm going to do to get that fixed up is, I don't know if you can see, there's a piece I already have in here. It's already trimmed. I'll bring it in closer. But you can see it's already laid in here. It's already bent. And then I just used the grinder and smooth this off to flush the surface here. And next what I'm going to do is go ahead and weld this to it. And then I'll trim everything up, and then I'll put this other pan back in, and then we'll make everything blend and match. So I'm going to get on that here soon, but I wanted to show you how I did some of the stuff on the floor pan. So here's the factory floor pan, and you can see that all the holes through it. I mean, it's horrible. And that's part of the reason why I had to replace this piece here. So show you the one that I've been hammering out. I mean, they're pretty similar. There's a few small features that's not in here. This is a little bit different an angle. It's not going to matter. You're not going to notice once there's paint and stuff on this. But how I got these guys in here is, wasn't as hard as what you think. You know, all I did was take these two and weld them to my plate here. But what I used is the old pan to get my width. So I set this down on here and got my width, and then tack welded this all down to this plate. And then I took and made a mandrel. I took and made that mandrel, it was over there, and I took and rounded these edges. Otherwise, if you create a sharp edge here, if I would use this side, it would rip the metal, so you got to be careful with that. Then all I did was lay the new one in, little like that, and smack it with a hammer. And you can see the profile that it gave me. That was my test piece, which is very similar to what's on the car. And then to get these flat on the bottom here, all I did was turn this upside down and use that, and you know, with your body hammer, and got the bottom flat. I mean, it's a lot of work. That's definitely a lot of work and time, but you can see, you know, you can use a lot of tools around to get whatever you need to do. So I'm gonna get back on the other piece here and see how well it turns out. So how I'm gonna do this is you know, I already cut this piece out, kind of got it bent up to the same shape as what's here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these two pieces together, and then we're gonna tack it on the bottom side. All right, so I got the piece, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go along and tack this the whole way around. Probably the bottom side too. All right, we got our piece welded up, and there's what it looks like. You can see the welds on the back side. I actually got lucky. I only had to weld it on the back side, and you can see I penetrated enough that it didn't have any little holes or whatever. And then I just use the angle grinder and some other sanding tools and ground and rounded this all off. But to show you here, it seems to fit pretty nice, as you can see. So now I'm going to get the floor pan put on, and then we'll end up welding this piece to that floor pan. It's a shame that it was cut short, but what do you do? And then we'll start working all this in. Alright, so I got this piece made. You saw that just a little bit ago. I got this corner all fixed up over here. Everything's starting to fit together pretty good, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm probably going to tack this guy into place, because I want to make sure that this blends well whenever it gets into here, and then I'll pull it out and probably hammer it and get it to where I really want it. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. I tacked it here and here just purposely to hold it in place while I got everything kind of positioned here, but you can see it's starting to look pretty good. And then once we get the floor pan in here, we got to make this piece that's over in here, and that piece was completely rotted. I mean, there was nothing left to it. So that one we're just going to copy over on the other side and how it looks, and hopefully we can get it to blend in well. There is a hole that was in here somewhere. I do have part of it that had part of the hole there, but all right, let's like I said, I think I'm going to tack this into place, pull it out, and then we're going to cut it, trim it, cut it, trim it, and then get it fit, and then we'll test fit it again in here. Howdy folks, I think the last time we left off I was working on the floor pan, and I think I got the bolt pocket cut in, welded in, and it's all dressed. I might not have showed that, but I'm going to show you that here in a second. I just wanted to take a moment. If you haven't looked at Fitzee Fabrications website or his YouTube channel, you need to do that, because he's a lot of the inspiration I got for doing this car. He does an excellent job with hand tools. You know, a lot of people out there, you know, they have all kinds of power hammers and whatnot, and they can form all kinds of sheet metal however they want. Well, he does it with basic tools, and that's how I got a lot information on how to make these floor pans and make all these body panels on this car so far. So it's a big credit out to him. It's Fitzee's Fabrication. I'll leave a link down below. Check him out. It's amazing. The other thing I wanted to say is I try not to make these videos crazy long. If I would record everything I did, you would look hours upon hours worth of videos, and you would get bored. I know some of you already get bored with some of the stuff that's already out there. It's just the way it is. I'm the same way, so don't feel bad about it. But you know, so if I'm missing something, or if you want to see something, maybe leave a comment and I'll get back to you and try to figure out how I can fit that into another video or something. But anyway, let's get back on the Plymouth here. Let me show you the floor plan. Let me show you the progress, and then maybe get it welded in tonight. Well guys, I apologize. I lost the footage on the bolt pocket. I was really hoping to save that. I even lost the pictures. I recorded that with my iPhone, and with transferring it over and everything, something happened. I ended up getting corrupted files, and I ended up hitting the delete button when I shouldn't have. But I ended up screwing up, so I lost that footage. I'm gonna walk you how I did it, because I gotta make 2 more bolt pockets for the back end here. So I'm gonna just go ahead and show you how I did that roughly. I won't be able to show you getting it welded in and anything, but I think you guys kind of get the idea. So let me get you over to the press and I'll show you how I got this done. All right, so I got you guys over here at the press, and all I did was, this is just a piece of scrap metal I had laying around here, but I'm using the outside of it. It's actually a backing plate off a lathe, but it happened to work out pretty good for this. So all I did was use the press and try to get it close enough in the center there. And basically press it down in. And you can go farther, shorter, you know, it depends on how you need your bolt pocket to look, but you can see the basic shapes there. So what I'm going to do is, I got to do another one anyway. I'm just going to do the exact same thing. And you know, you got to try to keep it somewhat centered as best you can, but and then after that, and there you go again. You can see the pocket actually looks pretty good. So there's our two that I need. Now I'm going to go over to the vise over there, and then we'll get this all hammered out and cleaned up. Alright, so I got you over here at the vise. Don't worry about these creases whenever they get in there like that. You know, that'll all come out, so don't worry about any of that. One of the things that I like to do is trim all this excess off. That way, because you don't really need it, and you know, it kind of saves you from hammering that all out. So that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, so since I got both of them trimmed down to that, we're going to start hammering this out. This is basically a pipe mandrel or tube mandrel, whatever you want to call it. It's actually a trip stop. If you're a train guy, it's actually a trip stop arm. So let's get this hammered out. All right, I'm just going to keep on working it, and then I'll bring you back here. So sometimes working these creases out, or sometimes a little bit of pain. Sometimes I take it back over the press and push on it a little bit more, and sometimes it helps it, you know, get back into shape a little bit, and I'll do it over and over. This one here, you can see it come out already pretty good. The creases weren't in it as bad. Sometimes you can heat them too, it'll help. But you can see it's pretty much in shape. And then, you know, whenever it's in the car, you know, I'll grind everything smooth and get it welded up, then it'll look like the other one there. So that's roughly how I do it. Enjoy. So here's the floor pan. Here's the bolt pocket that I put in. And you've seen how I did it. I just welded it in, or I'm sorry, I pushed it out on the press. I actually stuck it from the underside and then ground out until I got to where I could see the edges of this. And then I made sure everything set flat against the cross members and the braces and everything. And then I tack welded it, and then I pulled it out and then welded the whole way around. This here took me a little bit of time to work that out. One of the things that I found with doing radiuses in the corner Sometimes I can get them to hammer out, sometimes I can't. It's the name of the game. So what I did on this one is I put slits in, then hammered it, and then welded it, and then hammered it, and then got it to where it is now. And it fits pretty close, and it's honestly, it's a floor pan, so you're not going to notice as much. But anyway, let's get to it, man. I got all the holes drilled in here for getting this all tacked in. I forgot these two. It looks like I'll have to open them up. One of the things that I was going to mention too is you can use, a lot of people do this, and I've done it, and I may even do it, I don't know yet, but you can use self-tappers and put it down through here and draw it tight. Because you're going to be welding the hole shut anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I did see that I can pull this corner up flush already, so I'm probably going to go ahead and tack that in, and if I can work these in, which it looks like I probably can, I'm going to go ahead and get these tacked in first. Alright, so you know these pieces here are overlapping and stuff, so what we're going to do is we're going to go in and take the angle grinder and we're going to cut in, tack, and then work it the whole way around. So we're going to keep doing that method the whole way out around, and then I'll bring you back. Alright, you can see I went ahead and got all this welded in. Everything's already welded in. It looks pretty decent. I'm going to start grinding everything down. You know, welding these in, it takes forever because you got to spot, and work it the whole way around until you get it all welded in. Because if you concentrate on one side or one spot very long, that panel will warp. Actually, I did even have it warp a little bit right here. You can see it a little bit. It's not terrible. I think I can hammer that back out, so I'm not too worried about it. So if you ever do this on your own, please be careful because you can warp these panels. Even though it's a floorboard, I mean, you're not going to see it, but you know, and these older cars, keep in mind they have a little bit heavier steel in it than newer cars too. So you really have to take your time with the newer cars, or glue them and glue the panels in like they're doing a lot now today. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this ground up and smoothed out, and I'll bring you back. Alright guys, so you can see I got it all welded up and all ground down. It actually looks pretty good. There's a few spots that are meh, but otherwise, all in all, it looks good. Very happy with it. I think I'm going to start working on this piece right here, getting that filled in, and then go back to here. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and get the sill plate done, or if I'm just going to just keep working on the floor pan. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the floor pan finished in. I think that would be the best thing to do. But just to give you an idea, common tools that I use. Love these things, Scotch-Brite pads. I love these ones. I can't express that enough. These ones work really well. I bought these because I had a hard time finding these, and these were on the shelf. These, I'm not a fan of them. They're more like a paperback, and I just don't really like them very well. And then in the corners and stuff, like whenever I got down in these here, all I did was use this, kind of worked it in back and forth, and then polished it up with a Scotch-Brite pad. So it's not hard to do all this. It takes time. The time is the biggest thing whenever you're doing any type of project like this. But you can see the floor pan looks pretty good. Everything mated nice, everything. So let's keep moving and see what we can do back here.